Welcome back to Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler, live here from the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom. Right now, we are going to talk about, well, a couple of interesting topics that really combine together. We're going to talk about wine in Oregon and also an endangered species of butterfly. The combination of this vineyard that we're going to be talking about with U.S. Fish and Wildlife was able to help save a native butterfly from Oregon. That's a lot I just threw at you. We're going to break all this down for you and talk about it. Joining us right now from Duzer Vineyards, we have Bruce here with us. And Bruce, great to have you here on the show to talk about this. I first off want to say I love your backdrop there. So that's the first thing. Yeah, that looks pretty rough out there.
Yeah, it's terrible to have to come to here work here every single day. Yeah, it's a hard day to work here. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your hardship in doing that. But let's talk about this amazing topic that we're going to be covering here. But to start off, Bruce, would you mind just telling us a little about yourself and a little about Van Duzer and where you're at?
Yeah. So I'm a vineyards manager here at Van Duzer Vineyards. Been in the industry since 2002. So basically where we're at here at Van Duzer, we are one of the closest vineyard wineries in proximity to the Van Duzer corridor. And the Van Duzer corridor, what makes it special for us in that area is that it's a natural dip into coastal range that allows the cooling winds to kind of come in and cool off the Willamette Valley, which gives us the great area for growing grapes in our region.
And yeah, because of that direct line to the coast. So that makes it better for the grapes. What is it about that? It's just because it is cooling things down combined with the soil that's there in the Willamette Valley?
Exactly, 100%. Yeah, so it's more temperate, more moderate, and especially it's more feasible for along the lines for Pinot Noir and Chardonnay growing. Exactly.
Gotcha. All right, amazing. So just kind of a combination of in that Goldilocks zone there where everything can kind of work like that. Now, yes. If you could, I'm going to transition from that. We're going to talk about some more wine, but talking about the land that you have there for the vineyards, can you give us the story of how this Fender's blue butterfly comes into play with the property there and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife and how that all started?
Yeah. So basically, what happened was Dr. Paul Hammond back in 1989 discovered the Fender's blue butterfly down south from us here, and right there you're seeing a picture of Eve, the Fender's butterfly. And when he discovered that back in 1989, basically it was a butterfly that they had thought that was extinct. And they did a little bit more research and was able to find that it actually was not extinct. It became then listed as endangered in 2003. And then through more research and studying of the butterfly through its life habits and whatnot, they began to understand more of the needs that specific butterfly needed. And one of the main things that butterfly needed was a Kincaid lupin plant. So that butterfly, in order for it to reproduce itself and lay its eggs, it needs to have a Kincaid lupin in order to lay the eggs on to populate itself. And what originally had thought was in our Willamette Valley through agriculture and whatnot, that the Kincaid lupin was basically kind of destroyed through agricultural uses and whatnot, but there's small pockets that still remained and still existed. And so, lo and behold, there's small pockets of the Fender's blue butterfly that were found. And so for us here at Van Duzer, where we kind of came into the picture, where our tasting room is located on the west side of the property, we have this huge area of natural lupin plants on site. So when we came into the program in 2009, then our proximity to the National Refuge area within, the 2 mile distance from us with the Basket Slough really close to us, they wanted to know if we wanted to join the partnership program, and of course we said yes.
So when you decided to join that partnership program, what did that entail for you to go into that?
So basically it was a landowners partnership program and then also a safe harbor agreement program that basically private property owners can join in with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife and reclaim back habitat for the butterfly. Basically mow down non-native grasses, non-native species, get rid of blackberries, get rid of Scotch broom, basically clear out oak areas where the forb species of flowers typically grow and allow the lupin and the flowers to regrow and repopulate themselves in order to create more habitat for this butterfly to potentially thrive. And in 2009, when we started the program, they did on-site surveys for the butterfly, and we started the program with what they call a zero baseline number, which meant that we had zero butterflies on site. They did not find any Fender's blue butterflies on site. And in 2009, 10, 11, 12, and 13, all 5 of those years, we still had a zero number of butterflies on site. But every year, more habitat increased incremental increasements were done. More blackberries were removed. More forbs were planted. About 2,000 bulbs were planted on site for different flowering species in order to attract the butterfly on site to our property. So basically, when you're at the Van Duzer winery, so our winery is located on a knoll here on site. To the west side of the property is where the Kincaid lupin is, but on the east side of the property that faces the National Refuge area, the idea is that they wanted to plant the flowering species on the east side of the property to kind of act as a magnet in order to draw the butterflies from the basket slough on site to us. And then that way, when the butterflies were on site, then they would say, hey, look, we're here. Now what do we got to do? We got to find a lupin plant, to lay our eggs on. Lo and behold, they would go to the other side on the west side of the property and then lay their eggs on the lupin plants. So that was the original idea.
So incredibly well thought out, and that
Yep.
partnership,
Correct.
just seems invaluable of how that would work. So when you did this, and the hopes was to bring this species back, what was it like when you first started seeing success? How did that feel when you first went out there and started seeing, more of these butterflies out there?
So in 2014, on that particular year when the butterfly was found, Chris Seal, who was with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife, was on site with 3 other gentlemen and myself, and we were out kind of walking on the hillside, doing our annual scouting and whatnot. We were finding a lot of the other species of butterfly that looks very similar to the Fender's blue butterfly. It's called the silver's butterfly, but we weren't able to really find the Fender's blue until, lo and behold, this one guy, the name of Nate Richardson, found the butterfly. It was hard to tell whether or not it really was one. It was an older female, kind of tore up a little bit. She was basically ready to lay her eggs on the lupin plant, but they were able to find her, take pictures of her. The guys were jumping around. It was almost like a dad that basically just had a kid. I mean, it was unreal. Watching 4 big guys, losing their stuff, trying to take pictures of this little bitty butterfly. It was amazing. It was phenomenal.
Crying about the butterfly. I mean, that's awesome, though. I mean, all of that work just to really make that difference with
Yep.
something native here, natural, and creating that natural landscape, or bringing back that natural landscape. How important do you think those partnerships are, and how often is it that you see U.S. Fish and Wildlife partnering with wineries, particularly, I guess, in Oregon and the Willamette Valley?
The U.S. Fish and Wildlife do a lot of partnerships, and it's not just with wineries, it's other agricultural growers as well. Like if there's a small patch of area that's not beneficial for the egg farmer to grow, wheat, barley, grasses, or whatever, they can partner with them. And even if it's like a 1 or 2 acre swath, they'll partner with them in order to create a beneficial habitat for the farmer in that aspect of it. So there's a lot of partnerships that's critical for the biodiversity of egg farming, for sure.
Amazing. Well, what do you think is the most important thing that the general public should know about these kinds of partnerships, and just about, I guess, that and Oregon wine in general?
But just basically whatever we did for this Fender's butterfly has really nothing to do for winemaking, and that was the fun part of it. It was a fun project. It was an area that we didn't really know what to really do with. It wasn't an area that was still plantable to grapes, but it wasn't an area that the owner wanted to sacrifice for vineyard grapes. He wanted to still keep natural areas. So it was just an easy tie-in in order to create a biodiversity area for for something. And when this partnership program happened, it was an easy shoo-in for us to join it.
Awesome. Well, can you let everybody know just a little bit too about the Duzer Vineyard and where and how they can check more of what you do out?
So say that again. I'm sorry.
Oh,
we're getting a lot of wind. We're getting a lot of.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Here today.
Sorry. Fair enough. Could you let everybody know just where the Duzer Vineyard is, and just if they want to check out more of what you do, how they can do that?
Yeah. So we're located down in Dallas, Oregon, and our website is at vanduzer.com. Other things that we're doing also is we started up an annual hike throughout the vineyard as well. After in 2023, when the Fender's butterfly became delisted, so before it is listed as an endangered species, and in 2023 it was the first insect ever to become delisted down to a threatened species. So as a kind of like a kickback or a thank you to our wine club and to our other guests that come out to the property, we started doing vineyard hikes throughout the property, so we could actually, start taking people around and showing them the areas that we, actually reclaim back for the lupin plants and for the flowering plants and whatnot. So I'm doing the first hike this year on the 30th of May, and we'll have 3 other ones throughout the summer as well.
That's great. So people can go out there, walk the path, check it all out, and have a glass of wine too.
Yes, absolutely, lots of wine.
Yeah, lots of wine. I like all those combinations of everything you just brought there. So that's fantastic. Well, thank you very much for having time to talk to us, and share this story with everyone of just, what a great combination of things that is, agricultural land, but you also, bring in U.S. Fish and Wildlife and how it can coexist and make everything better for everyone all around.
Oh, it's fun to do it. Fun to do it.
Well, thanks for having time to talk to us today, Bruce. I really appreciate your time.
Appreciate the chance. Thank you.
And for everybody watching, we are live streaming. We're going to take a break. We've got more here. If you are watching live, we're at about 3:15 or so. So we're going to be going until 4 p.m. We've got more conversations to be had and more segments to bring you. If there's breaking news, we'll have that for you too. But we do need to take a break. So we'll do that now and come back right after that with more here on Fox 12 Now.